Hey guys, part 2 of our hiring process. In this episode, I talk about how to write a job ad. More than that, though, I talk about how to run a hiring process where you're not frustrated because people don't show up for their interviews. During COVID, there were so many people out there that were trying to hire admin help, and they would schedule an interview and people would no-show. And I'm going to teach you in this episode how to make sure that doesn't happen. I've never had anyone in my company's history, even people we didn't hire, I've never had anyone not show up for an in-person interview. So this episode is all about the job ad, how to write that. And again, remember, number 1, part 1 of this series is last week. So go and check that out if you missed it. And remember, the only way your company is going to grow, the only way your practice is going to grow is with people. So as you fundamentally build your practice, remember you, my friends, are in the people business. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Business School for the Rehab Chiropractor. Class is officially in session. My name is Justin Rabinowitz, and I am a rehab chiropractor on a mission to teach you, a fellow rehab chiropractor, the exact tools and systems I've used to build my own successful rehab chiropractic practice so you can do the same. I hope you enjoy, and please subscribe. All right, episode 2 of our 3-part series on hiring. And so last week, if you haven't checked that out, definitely after you listen to this episode, go check it out. We had part 1 of our hiring process, and that was a higher level overview of the fundamentals of hiring. So today, we're going to talk about job ads. The first thing to recognize about writing a job ad is that it is fundamentally an exercise in marketing. And I think understanding that concept was a realization that I had that I didn't really understand. And so if you want to see what bad job ads look like, just go on Indeed. Need part-time admin. Hiring immediately. I mean, it's like 1 or 2 sentences. And if you think about it as a marketer, if you write a job ad or if you write a marketing message like chiropractor, come see me, like that's the same type of thing that we're talking about. But you have to understand who potentially is your quote unquote buyer. Who is someone that might be attracted to this role? And then you have to speak in a way in your job ad that is going to make it attractive. And so the first thing in any sort of marketing exercise is what's the headline? What's the headline? What job ad are you posting for? So the first piece of advice that I would give you is, just like marketing, we often have different headlines that we test to see what hits. Just to give you an idea, an admin style position. Now you could think about what you want them to do. Maybe they answer the phone. Maybe they're at the front desk, whatever it is. That type of person might respond to several different job headlines. That could be an administrative assistant. It could be an admin. It could be a patient success coordinator. It could be a client success person, right? So these are all different fundamental job titles or headlines that I might post, and I would split test them to see what people respond to. So that's step 1, is what is your headline? What is your headline? Step 2 is now what happens in the body. What happens in the body of the job ad? Again, if you want to know how not to do it, typically just go on Indeed or one of the job sites. My guess would be 80 to 90% are complete trash on how they write it. And here, again, having empathy for who your potential customer is or who you're going to hire. Why would someone be attracted to your little company? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean, you have to use that as a positive, right? So if someone is looking for a job and they're looking to go corporate America, Verizon or Intel, whatever, like some big Fortune whatever company, they're going to be attracted to that for a certain reason. And at the same time, there are other people that will be attracted to your job for a different reason. So the fact that you have this tiny little company, for some people, they're going to like that. Why? Because they don't want to get caught up in corporate America. They don't want to deal with all the BS. Potentially, like when I hired Lauren, she had been out of corporate America for so long, and she told me, like, I've been out for 20 years, and even though I could do the job, they're not going to hire me because I've been out for so long. And so someone like that would not want to apply for a corporate job because they wouldn't get it. You being a small company, you might be able to find someone like Lauren, immensely talented, an amazing member of our team. I would love to have 10 Laurens. And, no one else would hire her in that corporate world for that reason that she stated. So what I mean by that is in the body of your messaging, in the body of your job ad, I believe you really need to do a good job of telling the story of your company. And so for me, I always start with, hey, we started this company in 2015. We had 0 patients. Now we're seeing over 200 and something visits a month. We're hiring very rapidly. You're going to be part of a growth type style of company. We have core values. I mean, all the things that we truly are. Like I said, if someone wants that just corporate job with 401k and all that type of crap, that's not the person that's going to be fundamental to us. No problem. But we've got to kind of use what we've got, right? Flaunt it if you got it. I don't have the big 401k. I don't have 1,000 employees. I don't have all these different things. Neither do you guys. We're small companies. That's okay. That's good for the right person. So going back, your headline of the job, test different headlines. The body of your job ad, tell a story, right? Stories sell. Make sure that you're telling a story in your job ad. Make sure that it really gives the essence of your company. Don't shy away from you being small. I remember early on, in the chiropractic world, like our company is big. We have, double-digit employees and we've grown and scaled. But in the scheme of business, we're still a very small company. However, early on, I remember, I don't know if it was embarrassed, but yeah, maybe a little embarrassed of like, all right, I'm hiring a person and it's like, we have no people here. We have 0 team. This is a very small company. I shouldn't have been embarrassed and neither should you guys, right? Because you guys are doing something that all those corporate nudniks wouldn't do. They wouldn't have started their own company. You are. People want to be part of your story. I know that our team that's been here a while, and even the ones that just got here, they take pride in the fact that we're this company and they've watched it grow. They've watched it go from sharing an office space to now being a multi-7-figure organization we have clients and customers all over North America and now in Australia. I know that they take pride in that. And they wouldn't get that at Verizon. They wouldn't get that at IBM. They wouldn't get that at any of those places. And so early on, you want people that want to be part of your growth story. Let them come in and be a part of that. They can look back 1, 2, 3, 5 years later when you do grow and scale, and they can say, hey, I had a part of that. I'm just not another cog in the wheel. And that's important. That's really important to people. So that job ad is important. Make sure that you write it. Make sure you tell the story of your company. I'd say the next thing, and I'd say the final piece of this where so many people get wrong in their job ad process, and I'll be honest with you, I laughed at this during COVID specifically. We know that during COVID, obviously people were paid to stay home and the jobs and all these different crazy things. And one of the ways that people could continue to collect unemployment was that they had to show proof that they were applying for jobs. And so one of the problems in business that business owners had was that people would apply for jobs, they would schedule an interview and then no show, because just by scheduling the interview, they could show proof that they were attempting to get a job, but they didn't, and then they would still get unemployment. However, I would get so many, not I would get, but I would read about so many chiros specifically that were, F this, these people don't want to work, blah, 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 blah. They would just cry and complain that people would schedule job interviews and not show up. And it's like, dude, like your process is so off. You're just expecting someone to click a button on Indeed and show up in your office. Do you not understand anything about marketing? And so the next thing that I would want you to consider if you're in a hiring process is make it a little challenging for people. Give them a couple steps. Have them do some paperwork. Have them write something up. I can tell you every single person, this is not like every single person in our company, from our chiropractors to our admin staff, to our marketers, to our sales, to every person that we've hired has gone through our hiring process, and each one took time and care to write the questions, the prompts, they filled out the forms, they did all of the BS that we asked them to do. And so we ask people to go and jump through hoops because we want it to be challenging. We want to make sure that we have the right people. And I think that's one of the reasons we've been so successful. It isn't just apply for this job, schedule an interview. It's apply for this job and then do these things and then do these things and then do these things and then do these things. And by the time we actually get someone in person, they've gone through 3, 4, 5 different steps. And so we've never had anyone not show up for an in-person interview, because of all these steps, the pre-qualifications that we do. So if you guys are out there and in the process of hiring or had people no show for job interviews, I would just question what your process is to get them there. Again, going back, it's a fundamental marketing exercise. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's a little bit different. than some of our previous episodes. But again, like I said, I've created a monster in our program. We've created a problem where people now have money, but they're time poor and they need to start hiring. And so hiring is on top of mind for me. It was always the goal for the mastermind to get to that point with it so that I could teach our hiring process, because people are the only way they're going to grow to that next step. The only way that I'm going to be able to continue to help our mastermind members is if they hire people, train them, and then onboard them properly, which is a preview to next week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, please, if you haven't, 5-star review, share with your friends, share with your enemies. We appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And if you found this content valuable, here are 4 ways I can help you for free. 1, grab a copy of my free guide, the Rehab Chiropractor's Checklist. You can get that at go.drjustinrabinowitz.com/guide. That's go.drjustinrabinowitz.com/guide. 2, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram at Justin Rabinowitz, where I post business content. 3, subscribe to my weekly newsletter by sending me an email at coaching@strivetomove.com. And 4, leave us a 5-star review so we can gain access to more influential people and bring those lessons back to you.